2003, but that I named you about yesterday.
I have hold on it. I look at the materials and I, okay, got it. 2 days later, I don't got it.
This is not gonna be fun. I can't see.
So glad you drove your son home.
Well, I had dark glasses on, out for that,
Could you put sunglasses back on?
but
No, if you turn the lights on now, so it was brighter in here and more sunglasses, that might.
I charge my glasses.
Oh, the lights are too bright even for mine.
Yeah, they're harsh, you're just, these lights are more harsh.
It's just back up that. Just back out. We're not all that. I can find out that we got me on a nice box.
My feet reach the ground with the little box.
It's quite a first.
It really is, it's so comfortable.
So we should all put in for one of those.
Yeah. No, I don't see anyone else here that's going to be challenged.
No, mine would be, something that would hold my foot up my ears. So I can hold it.
She's someone. You don't think any help? You want to try it? Almost here.
That would be great, but I'm not. That's.
I go. That's not.
We're not.
Calling the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Please rise and join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Approval of treasurer's warrants, payroll warrants for August 18, FY 24, August 25, FY 24, September 1, FY 24. Open for motion.
To approve payroll warrants, August 18, FY 24, August 25, FY 24, and September 1, FY 24.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Accounts payable warrants for August 22nd, FY 23, August 29th, FY 23, August 22nd, FY 24, August 29th, FY 24, and September 5th, FY 24.
I move to approve the accounts payable warrants of August 22, FY 23, August 29, FY 23, August 22, FY 24, August 29, FY 24, and September 5, FY 24.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
That should be the last of the FY 23 warrants.
Number 3, approval of the minutes, August 15th, 2023.
Move to approve the minutes from August 15, 2023.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any questions, discussion, corrections?
Yes, no corrections, excellent as always.
All right. Seeing no other questions, calling for a vote, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. August 16th, 2023, special meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes from August 16, 2023, special meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. We do not have any special presentations or awards or committee appointments.
I had talked about a committee appointment, not an appointment, but to be linked on to the.
That's later.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Over.
Public hearings, liquor license renewal for EDCRS LLC doing business as Water Street Kitchen and Bar, 15 Water Street. Open for motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Public hearing is open at 6:03 PM. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this liquor license renewal? Anyone online? Going once, going twice. Okay, open for a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing on the liquor license.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor? We are closed at 6:04 PM. Open for a motion on the liquor license.
Move to approve the liquor license renewal for Water Street Kitchen and Bar.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Public comment on non-agenda items. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak? Please come forward and state your name, and you'll have up to 5 minutes to speak. Sure, come on up. Okay. And the microphone for those on Zoom is the owl in the middle there, just for your reference. Yeah. Okay.
I'm Ann Schneider, and I live on the Old Chicago Road. I came tonight because I read in the newspaper, the Lincoln County News, your last meeting, that you gave a report on the town's previous vote about looking at closing the high school. Is that correct?
It was a report from the Future of the Schools Committee. It was not specifically on closing the high school.
So, I would like to have some clarification on that. Where does this stand and what's going to happen next?
So right now, the report that came out was specifically on the question of what the financial implication would be, a projection. Obviously, we don't know exactly what it would be. If we tuitioned out grades 9 through 12, that was the first report of this committee, which was created by a vote of the town. There will be, we're going to come back with more information on why, there were questions about why we couldn't close one of the schools if we did that. So we'll come back and clarify that answer, as well as have a second report that goes more into the other options, into in terms of consolidation, expansion, or status quo. So this committee won't come with full-blown solutions. That's really up to the superintendent, the school board, and all the other talents involved. There are conversations going on right now. For instance, I know Dresden is interested in talking with us again about joining. Booth Bay is going through a vote right now. Booth Bay Harbor's going through a vote right now on a new school, but I know there are lots of people who said publicly in the paper that they're interested in talking with us. So does that answer your question?
Sort of, it does. I feel that actually the middle and the high school should both be closed. And I feel very strongly about that. I'm not for offering the correct or adequate, teaching for any of them. And, I think that we really do need to look at that. And when you have a graduating class of 25 or 23, which I believe is what is the current senior class, is 23, you can't provide them with an adequate program. And I'm really doing a great disservice to not only those children, but also to this whole community by not having them all in school. And it's not the school's fault. It's just that we don't have the children. And so I think that we really need to really look at that. And I was a little concerned because what I read in the Lincoln County News led me to believe that she came out and said that we weren't going to do anything, that it wasn't in our fiscal interest.
No.
That's what I read. Okay? All right? So if it's going to continue on going, how will we know about these meetings and will they be open to the public?
The future of the schools committee?
Yeah.
They're posted. We don't have a regular meeting schedule online or on the town website.
On the town website, under what? Under the town of Wisconsin?
Yes.
On special committees? Because
Yeah,
I've looked on the
okay.
school board's sites and they're very.
No, it's not part of the school board.
Very good.
So,
And I want to be very clear that the future of the schools committee is just an ad hoc committee. It's not a decision-making body at all.
Yeah, just to, yeah, that was a fact-finding committee, that was not anyone making a decision. But if you really want to know what was said at that meeting, you can go on YouTube and look up Wiscasset Town Hall, and the meetings were all online, you can watch that word for word of the set of the meeting.
Okay.
I highly recommend it.
and when they do meet, they send us an agenda. They do have a page on the town's website. They have their own page. It will be posted there. And it's also posted here, and it will be on the town calendar. It's also on the website.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Anyone else from the public who would like to speak on a non-agenda item? Anyone online? Okay, thank you. We do not have a department head or committee chair. All right, so we're back to LD 2003 discussion. So as a reminder, the ORC is already working on a potential parking ordinance. And so tonight we brought back the research that Emily Raby from Lincoln County Regional Planning did for us. We had asked her to put together what other towns are doing in regards to short-term rentals and accessory dwelling units. So that's what you have. Basically, we need to come out of this meeting not making a decision on exactly what the ordinance says, but giving them some direction, A, whether they should draft anything, and what direction they might want to go with that in terms of whether it's very detailed, very general, any parameters we'd like to give them in terms of a draft. So I will open the floor. I guess let's start with accessory dwelling units. Thoughts on whether we would like the ORC to draft something and what that might entail.
Are we required? I'm so sorry.
Raise your hand. That's a good start question. Are we required to do one for the accessory dwelling?
You're gonna get it ran down your throat. So if you take some of these local options that are allowed in this size, and do those,
And my understanding is it's not required, but then it's highly recommended, because this leaves LD 2003 leaves, anybody who owns a property that's got room for anything they can build, they can shove a body in,
can build it and proud their space. So I'd love to see us write an ordinance. I have some very specific ideas on things that should be included in that ordinance. So, as everyone knows, my partner's a contractor, and I talked to him about the average size of an American home in this day and age. A common one-bedroom house would be about 25 by 32 with 800 square feet. That's a comfortable home. It's not lavish, it's not tiny, it's just average. So a two-bedroom home, you add about 200 square feet per bedroom. That would take you to a 24 by 42, which is a two-bedroom home, and a 1,200 home at 30 by 40 feet would be a three-bedroom home, and you would go on from there. So I would say that we would limit the sizes of any domicile built to a reasonable average sized home, so we don't end up with little mini homes, 40 mini homes on a 1 acre lot, because that could happen. And that way, you know, anything that's being built is being built to good specifications and is a solid, full-time family dwelling. So the other recommendation I have is to see if we could put a 20-foot setback on the property line for properties that have more than one domicile on a single property, because that gives you more green space between your home, where you're adding so many more individuals living on that piece of property, from your neighbors. Right now, we have a 10-foot setback for in the ordinance now. I'd like to see for multiple dwellings on a piece of property a 20-foot setback. I'd like to see at least a 50-foot setback between each building, which is green space for any family living there to move in. And I'd like to see that those domiciles all have their own separate parking spaces lined out by those homes, so that we're not dealing with street side parking. So that's what I came up with in 15, 20 minutes on with that. Anything else?
Can I just clarify on the first point in terms of size? So what would you say on size?
The size of the house, I would specifically say a 1-bedroom, 800 square feet, and every bedroom added, you add another 200 feet per bedroom. So that's not just, it's not a 10 by 20 bedroom, but that is a larger living room, dining room, kitchen area, plus a 10 by 12 or whatever. So I would say you start out at a 1-bedroom unit at 800 square feet, and every bedroom added was an additional 200 square feet.
So you're saying this is a minimum?
As a minimum size building, yeah.
Not a maximum, you're not gonna put a maximum.
Oh, no, you can put a build a mansion if you want. Then there wouldn't be 20 of them, that's one house, it'd just be one.
When we were discussing, this idea, I wondered if it was not going to somewhere be handled by the subdivision rules, subdivision rules.
This overrides our ordinances and would allow, essentially, the way I read it, it allows an individual with a piece of property to build a subdivision without having to go through the subdivision process.
That is
No,
what I
I
want clarification on.
It says you can build houses. If you have a proper lot, you can build houses. You're not limited to the number of houses you can have per lot. There's no limit on sizes.
I don't think that's the case.
Okay, but that's kind of how it reads.
I haven't put that in, so in that way, that, I was under the impression that was not the case, that subdivision is about three lots or more.
Right, but LD 2003 is not just about building a second, you can build 3 or 4 or more
On the same lot.
on the same lot. And it would be, I think you just put some building sizes, you put some comfortable building sizes, so you know that people are actually building homes and not just like camps, like you would go to for 2 weeks up in Moose.
And to continue, I think, I'm not against, 1 or 2 tiny homes. The ones that are, well done, answer a need for affordable housing. And I don't know how you go about saying it has to be well done. You know, you can't
Well-
exactly put that in the ordinance.
Well, anything you build, it has to be built to code anyway.
Yeah.
You have a building.
Well, we do have that. We can rely on that. They're getting very smart out there. I do see your point, and I would agree that it would be, unattractive and something you wouldn't want would be to suddenly live next door to 15 tiny homes. Just because somebody would put that many on the lot. Perhaps if there's a way to make it so that, you know, there has to be, some kind of education. There needs to be some kind of conversation with the planning board about what they want to do, so that it's not just automatic. Is that possible?
To compromise here, take what she said, 800 square feet of living space, max,
Minimum.
and in no case shall the accessory dwelling unit be larger than the primary dwelling unit, nor shall it exceed 1,000 square feet of total living space. It's taking two different, owners and, Whitefields together.
I guess what I want to avoid is coming up with so many rules that every time we turn around, we're gonna have, there needs to be a waiver. And maybe that's one way to go about it, is to come up with rules so that they do have to come before the planning board and ask for a waiver and make it reasonable.
So I think, well, you have to go through your building permit process. My thought process for this is you can always put a vote on later to relax some of these rules. But this is brand new, we don't know what we're gonna be dealing with, let's lock it in a little bit until we see if people, see how people react to it and see where they go. So we're gonna start, erring on the side of caution, and then you can relax this later. Now, otherwise, I'm not for leaving it wide open and just letting people do whatever, and then trying to lock it down after chaos has already been done.
And the spirit of the law is affordable housing.
Oh, I know.
Affordable housing.
Oh, I know.
And so to the extent that we can, I agree. What you say is reasonable.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I thought that these are not large homes. These are moderate homes. And if you have a piece of property, you've got 2 or 3 acres, and you want to build 2 or 3 more houses or 4 houses even, and make them comfortable homes, then that people are going to live in year round with their 3 kids. To me, that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for mini homes for individuals. These are families that don't have anywhere to live.
Or, they're all individuals.
So
The other part, so you know.
the other part of this is just to get a point to start. Then it also comes back to us, then it obviously goes to the whole public hearing phase, to the public as well. So if we can at least just get some parameters around it to see what it looks like.
But respectfully, I would like to not prohibit the building of the tiny home.
Oh, I don't say prohibit it completely. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, let's not do that right from the get-go. Let's see what happens with this and then relax it as we go forward.
But you're saying start with not allowing it.
Yeah, I would start with not allowing it. So if you had someone with 2 acres, 3 acres that live next door to you, would you really want them to build 15 tiny homes?
No.
They're only allowed 2.5 times the density of, so that really can't.
I'm pretty sure it's 4 dwelling units maximum.
Yeah,
Or is it-
I'm kind of looking at trying to look through some of the guidance right now. This is where that goes. It doesn't like changes, right?
It's ambiguous in many areas. I don't think it's entirely a well-written law.
you say you wanna see where it goes, would you be open to just opening it up in certain districts?
I don't think you can do that. I don't think 2003 allows you to do that, does it?
Probably saw that.
Because they had that whole, 4 or 6 page document on things you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. I didn't see that in there, that you were allowed to do that. You're allowed to you're allowed to, mandate the size of the home. You're allowed to mandate, some space around those homes.
Would it be possible to get, our planner,
Emily?
online? To answer some questions, I think we just.
What's
Come
that?
back on this.
Hey,
Oh, you know.
hopefully she's out with her feet up, having dinner or something.
I mean, yes, we can have her come again, if that's what people are feeling like, we can clarify some of these questions. I mean, I don't wanna keep pushing this down the road, but.
Yeah, but I think my thought process is throw some ideas like this out here and let's talk about, obviously, the ordinance committee can start writing the ordinance and then build the parameters in, leave space for those parameters and work around them. To some, and Jackie will probably kick me for saying that. Sorry, but at least it gives us some talking.
So the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development has a really nice, LD 2003 guidance information sheet on it. I will copy this once I can see. I will copy this, and email it to you, and I think this will answer a lot of your questions.
Could we ask Emily to come, though,
Yes.
to the next meeting?
Yes.
Should we each compile a couple of questions for her and send them to her in advance so that she, know what our.
Sure. Good idea. Yeah. If you wanna send them to me, I will forward them to her. That work?
Sounds good.
Okay. What about short-term rentals? Feel the same, you want her to be here, or do we have more concrete?
I have a couple questions. We were talking one time, about insurance. What kind of insurance? Yes, property damage and renters.
So at least, so speaking as an Airbnb owner, I have to, legally, I'm supposed to and do have specific insurance that is for Airbnbs, short-term rentals. It tends to be difficult insurance to get, I don't know why, but it is not your average homeowners or renters insurance.
I think they should have a business license, just so we know where they are. Insurance and maximum stay is 29 days.
Other thoughts?
How much you want a maximum stay?
30 days of eligible for welfare from the town.
I don't see, well,
So,
General assistance.
I don't see anyone who's looking for general assistance supporting the Airbnb. But it is the point.
safe thing to put in there.
Oh, yeah, it's prudence. You gotta do your due diligence for the town as a whole.
Someone
Why we so
someone could
often-
open up a low-cut home.
Yeah, that's true.
Other thoughts?
Well, you run Airbnbs, are there, so have there been instances that you can think of where it was ever a problem in the neighborhood or to individuals in the area? Or,
No, part of it depends on what you're using, so some of you may be familiar, if you've rented Airbnbs, they have a very strict policy about no events now, that's been since COVID, and you can get in big trouble for that, both as the renter and the rentee. So that helps, I don't know if like VRBO has the same policy, that's another short-term rental one. Airbnb also provides, insurance on top of any insurance you have, which is good. I'm not gonna have any voting on this because I have one, but I would not at all be opposed to having to do a business license and provide insurance.
It is a business.
I don't, it's treated that way as it's in your taxes, that's how I
It's not a
file.
hobby.
Right.
No, I agree.
Insurance, I've heard a story of one of them getting trashed in Syria recently.
How are these rules going to be enforced?
It's something else for the code enforcement officer to do. Well, when they apply for the business license, they gotta have, proof of insurance.
I mean, I guess it would be the same thing as if somebody saw a business, they popped up, which happens every once in a while, and we haven't seen their name before us.
Well, and if there's a problem, isn't that just similar to a landlord kind of issue? Unless there's an event, I mean, something other than them holding an event, like a party.
Yeah,
That
I
they're
mean-
not supposed to have anything else that happens.
I just-
That would be landlord kind of.
Yeah. But not in all the town.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be town business
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
it would be treated like anything else.
Would be none of our business.
But you have to make this, if you want them to have a business license and you want them to show proof of insurance, that would have to be slightly different from the current business license ordinance, because it's not part of it. So that would have to be either a separate section of the business license, or would have to be amended for that. Which I think is a good idea, required to have insurance, just make insurance, just make your license.
Yeah.
Just like you do with registration.
No, I think it's a good idea. Do you think that's onerous to the property business owner?
Me.
So I said, I've never done it, so I don't know what the process is, so.
I shouldn't be having people stay there if I don't have the right insurance.
Yeah.
I feel that.
But we don't have a requirement for insurance for business license. I missed that.
Crazy not carry insurance.
All right, so sounds like folks would like an ordinance that says you need to have a business license, include proof of insurance. I don't know, do you want the maximum 29-day stay?
I just don't see how you're going to enforce that at all.
I mean,
If words.
It is, that is gonna be a tougher one to enforce.
well, not
Because
only
who's gonna
that,
run around to 30 Airbnbs in town and say how many days?
How are you gonna prove it?
How,
Well, so it's up to,
who left for a day?
so, yeah, but so that's up to the business owner to police their own business, that's not up to the town to police.
I think the only way-
Local, we don't go into Shaw's and make sure everybody's paying their grocery bill properly, like, signing their checks correctly or whatever, that's the business owner issue.
By putting it in the ordinance, you're telling them that that's it.
You're telling me, you're writing a guideline for the business owner to follow, and quite frankly, it probably will slip through the cracks here and there, but at least having it in the ordinance, you have something that you can work from in case there's an issue arises.
Somebody complains.
Or someone complains, at least you have an
Putting a
ordinance.
line in the office.
can I ask Bill, so there's a, in next door, now, and it's going to be rented out, I believe, to the new principal, the elementary school. And that would be for more than 29 days. Is there something wrong with that?
This is called short-term rental. That's not a short-term rental.
But it is an Airbnb.
Not
I mean,
short-term-
I was
We're
just
regulating
asking.
short-term rentals, that's not a short-term rental. renting it for a year or whatever.
Okay, so it's okay to have a lease, whereas you know, you might have a business license for an Airbnb for that property.
You got another
But you
room
can-
that you're renting out.
I don't know if you can rent for that long.
Well, I don't know that it is on Airbnb. I think it is that's what I'm asking.
It depends on what your definition of short term is. That's the issue.
Can she do both, is what I want to know. And this property owner decide when there's going to be a long-term lease and, you know, it's just her, she doesn't have to have a business license for it. Or when she's going to have an Airbnb business, contract with someone. I mean,
Does she have
Airbnb,
question, does she have room for this person to be there for a year and to take in some Airbnb people? Or not?
she has 3 units, yeah, she can do anything she wants. I just wanted to make, to be possible for her to, you know, do what she's doing.
So some of the, I didn't check all of them for short-term definition, but at least one of them's got less than 90 days. I guess for me,
Well, Sarah, if somebody came and they wanted to lease your property for a year, and it sounded good to you, can you do that?
I don't think so.
That's what
I think that's a separate process. Like I have to have different insurance, like I don't think my insurance will cover that. I'd have to look, but I don't think it covers year rentals.
So showing my ignorance, so you're running an Airbnb, do you go through a company that manages the Airbnb for you?
No,
In
so Airbnb is simply the website host that does all the processing of payments. It also takes care of the lodging taxes and stuff like that, and gives you your documents at the end of the year, but it does not do anything physical with the property. A lot of people will have management companies like Vacasa and those that then go on Airbnb, but
So they can't tell you that you can't rent your place out.
That's exactly what I want to know.
Well, see, so that's what she's saying, so that if you wanted to rent it, but her insurance might not cover that long of it.
She'd have to have a different
Because,
insurance.
so she'd have to add an insurance.
Right.
Yeah, so that's not that difficult. I think it would be unusual for someone to do both Airbnb and a common.
Well, there are plenty of people though that have a summer home, that they come and spend their time in the summer home, and they rent their home for
Yes, they do. Many.
months out of the year when they're gone for winter.
Many of
So-
them are.
As Sarah has, so she could probably, I would think could do the same thing. If you wanted to Airbnb from May to September, and then rent it October through April as a long term. But that's not really a long term rental, because that's, If you're doing the long-term rental, you wouldn't be going through the Airbnb.
Correct.
it's definitely not a typical practice, you know.
No, I was just wanting to make sure that it would not prohibit it. I mean, apparently it
Looks like
doesn't,
how it
because at this point,
I would think you could have a room rent, and you could have 2 rooms that are Airbnb.
And the first one would not be considered a short-term rental, the other two would.
my concern is that we asked for them to write an ordinance that allows for what we've just been talking about.
So I think but what we're talking about, so here's the problem. What we're talking about in this ordinance is only those instances when they would be renting as an Airbnb.
Short term.
The short term, this is not addressing anything that they're renting long term.
It does not.
It does not
their-
prohibit, it does not prohibit a long.
We need a statement to that effect. How's that sound?
If you
Like
Yeah,
can,
it sounds like we need a definition of what is short-term.
Well, I think that's.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
well, and maybe that's what we need in the ordinance, that we have a definition of what a short-term rental
Well,
would
she
be,
had 29 days.
which would be 29 days or less. With Bill's request. And then anything other than that, it's a long-term rental.
Because most of them are a week or less.
Also, yeah, some of them just 2 days.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Does that give you enough to go on further?
More than you wanted.
Do you want to send
Okay. All right, and then we will come back to the accessory dwelling units next time, hopefully with Emily. So we can, ask her questions, please send them to me before the next meeting, I'll try to remember to remind you. So we can send them to her ahead of time. Okay.
Okay.
All right. New business license for Beller Studio 234 Willow Lane, open for a motion.
I move to approve the business license for Bellhurt Studio 234.
Been moved and seconded, any questions or discussion?
Oh, no, sorry. Voting.
Seeing none, all those in favor?
There you go.
Motion passed 4-0.
I love this next one.
Business license for Flower Child Bakery, 31 Westview Road, open for a motion.
I move to approve business license for Flower Child Bakery, 31 Westview Road.
Second. Been moved and seconded, any questions or discussion?
Question. In other states I've lived in, do they have to have some inspections from someone who's baking food in their home and then selling it outside?
I believe so, yes, code enforcement officer, usually that's not.
And there was a question from Rob for fire department, do we know if that's been answered? It says, is there any sort of fire protection system in place for the cooking area? I don't,
Code enforcement.
but I think it's a good question, it's a good one that should be addressed.
My file? Extinguisher.
Based on.
So,
Do we need to rescind the motion and remove?
okay,
So
so
you
you
have
have
to
a second?
withdraw your.
Amending, no.
Just amendment.
Oh, okay,
Just
just vote on
right.
that, and then you have to vote.
I move as amended.
The amendment, the amendment is to approve the business license on the condition that the fire protection system of some kind is in place in the cooking area.
We need a second for that,
Second.
okay? And then vote on the amended.
You have to vote to amend it, and then you have to vote to
Okay.
pass it.
All those in favor of amending it? Motion passes 5-0. Any further questions or discussion?
Move the question.
All those in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Where's the question?
You gave the question.
No, it's on the back under fire department. All right, business license for Vincoast Residential Service, 28 Middle Street, open for motion.
Move to approve.
Moved and seconded, any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Approval of Central Maine Power Pole Permit Application for Chewonki Neck Road, work order 80100056777. Move for motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Request approval to accept a $5,000 grant from MMA Property and Casualty Pool Law Enforcement Grant for obtaining accreditation for the department. Open for motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded, any questions or discussion? Me? All those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Sewer abatement for James and Tiffany Putterbaugh at 65 Churchill Street for $173.28.
I want to speak to that if I can.
Yep,
That's a little unusual.
I am Rob Lawler, the superintendent of the sewer department. And when I prepared that abatement, I have already discarded the old rates, and this bill goes under the old rates. So anyway, I apologize for the kerfuffle, but it is my fault. Instead of a abatement of, which I have here, of 173.28, I recalculated the bill using the old rates, ones from July. And that would mean that their abatement should be 194.11. And I do apologize for that.
Thank you for your diligence.
And if you want to see the math, I have a little sheet here with the math on it, but I felt I was cheating people out of their extra $20, so I apologize for that. But that's how much the abatement really should be, 194.11.
Thank you.
I make a motion, we amend the, motion to, change the rate to 194.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Yeah, of amending, motion passes 5-0.
I move that we move the question.
No one actually moved in first place.
Well, we did they made the motion.
No.
I didn't move for
Robert,
it.
no, okay.
So,
Oh, okay, well then we'll just,
so we just need a motion with the new number.
I move that we approve the abatement in the amount of 194.11 for James and Tiffany.
So,
Second.
Moved and seconded, any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Bill of sale to Hope Rankin, 285 Birch Point Road, Lot 1 for 2015 Commodore model number TS103A, beige in color, mobile home, serial number CN52272A.
Wow.
Second.
President,
Yes.
Price.
I don't know that we ever have put price tags there. They're just,
I know, I'm asking.
pass-through taxes is what this is for. It's not, so a mobile home is not real property, so we don't do a quick home on like we do. We just do bill of sale.
We've taken position on it now for the.
Right, we foreclose on the non-payment, they pay their taxes on that one. So I don't think we've ever put a price on.
No, I'm just asking.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Liaisons for town committees, we have at least one vacancy, correct?
Yes, well, it's at least a year before. But then, well, Karen has kind of stepped up to one of the budget committee, but the investment advisory committee needs.
Anyone interested in being on the airport or investment advisory?
I'll take the airport.
Thank you.
And the climate committee, I guess, is on to.
When will they meet?
When is the airport committee?
It's Wednesday off, I have to look on the calendar, it's Wednesday.
Anyone for the investment?
That means like 4 hours, so.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna play with my own money.
Really?
Money, I'll play with yours.
I don't know. Oh, and then the climate action committee. Okay, sorry.
Any more on these guys?
But I think we're
Lisa
covered.
owes everybody else gonna stay on.
Just tell them they are. Joking.
All right. Nothing under assessor's business, town manager's report.
I said, earlier, you guys have to excuse me a little bit, I had my eyes dilated earlier, I can't see can't read.
Make it up.
It's been a fun meeting. I told you when you're doing your payables warrants, we close out the last fiscal year. There shouldn't be any bills coming in anyways. If we do, they'll have to come out this fiscal year because we need to get our audit done. But we ended up the year with a $715,000 underspent on our budget. Remembering $300,000 of that was carried over from last year, so what we really underspent our budget was by about $450,000 this year. Not as good as past years, but considering how the price of everything has gone up so quickly this year, I think that everybody did a good job of staying in the budget. Parks and Rec had $43.23 left.
Wow.
This year. And I think I told you earlier, the animal control budget did go over by $26, but we covered that out of it. So, and I am working on the revenue estimate. We're over revenue by several $100,000 as well. Exactly what that is. But, so financially, this year, we have a decent shape. We have some money to put in the fund balance. Keeping the things forward there. I just would like to ask the public to have a little bit of patience with our staff lately. Our public works staff is behind because of the weather this year with all the rain that we've had. And they're down on staff member who's out on medical leave for the next 2 months, not work related. We have an employee that's out down at the wastewater treatment plant currently that's out on medical leave, and we have employee on EMS that's out on medical leave. So, the transfer station is short staffed. I had to make a personnel decision up there. So please just be patient. We're doing the best we can with the resources that we have. Everybody's working really hard. Keep services up. We can only do so much. So I did get an email today. The final decision has been made on the $700,000 EPA grant out at Mason Station. So you guys should see some paperwork through on that, and will need to be signed for the next meeting or the meeting after that. I will be in Bideford all day on the 14th, attending a meeting reference to that, and then again on the 27th, I'll be in Chelmsford, Mass on another. So I'll be at the office those 2 days.
The Susan Blackman question. Are we doing on the way or not?
So I have a letter from the attorney that we can present to them. I think we need to give them a little bit more time. They've given us a time frame, and let's see if they work within their time frame. If not, then we can send them this nasty letter saying, we're going to take it forward.
So your time frame is December the 1st?
No, it was October.
Thank you.
Maybe that's where there was some confusion.
Yeah,
They're supposed to be done by October. Right now, I'm not seeing any progress. I walked inside that thing the other day and see what they were doing. They're not doing anything. So if we don't see any progress being made, and they're not going to make it October 1st, or the end of October, I wouldn't even wait that long to sit the attorney on.
I was gonna say, it wouldn't wait that long either. I saw the same thing that you saw, which was nothing. I've been looking, I've been watching, and, which is why I'm thinking maybe perhaps we don't have to accept their time frame. We can say by October the 1st. Yes?
You can, it's not going to get done by October 1st.
Well-
Sitting here in this chair, I can tell you right now, even if they started tomorrow,
And I'm wondering, when did you begin saying there's a limit to what we're going to do, there's a limit to what we're going to wait on? And in order to help them hurry up, so that they're not just sitting around, put a fee on it. $100 fine a day, it's not going to be much.
We can do that, but, you know, all of that also means we're gonna end up dragging. Because, you know, we can impose a fine, but we can't enforce it.
Okay.
And I always try to avoid huge amounts of legal fees for this stuff.
I
And
understand.
I get everybody's frustration with it, and he created this situation because he could have done this last year and not waited till this year and then have to list all the excuses about the weather and manpower and blah, 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 blah. But it's where we're at right at the moment. If you guys want me to spend the money, I would gladly just tell me and I will do it.
Yeah, so, I agree, he's not gonna get this done by that. There's no way. But, I would say that this is the first time that they have given us any time frame at all. Let them get what they can done in that time frame before we start looking at the next step, keeping in mind that there probably is going to be a next step, because it's, I don't see if he had 3 crews to throw at that, but I don't see him getting it done by October. And I see Mason being done, and it's not that easy. So, I don't think we can realistically do anything until they do or don't make their deadline that they set for themselves. I agree.
There's not anything that we can do, that's what I just said. There's nothing we can do, so we might as well
So
just.
it was harder before because we didn't have the property maintenance ordinance before. Now that we do have that, that does give us something to fall back on and say, now we have this, you're in violation of this, you need to get this done.
I tell some bricklayers to get off the job, go on, welcome to this job.
Well, again, if he done this last year, he wouldn't be in this situation.
But he did contract with, Masons and with a company that does this work, and they said we can start at this time period and be done in this time period. So he has set a clock on himself essentially. So we can just wait till that clock runs out and then.
The
he
east
does
side
it.
had almost collapsed, it would be done now.
I guess
The
going
masons that were gonna do the front, have to do the side, then they can schedule to go somewhere else.
And if any maintenance had been done on it in the last 40 years, it wouldn't have fallen down.
Well,
Okay.
that's
Anyway,
There's that, there we go.
I would suggest that we check back in 2 weeks on this and decide at that meeting when we'd like to send the letter in the hopes that maybe they'll start a little bit. My personal opinion was that this, like you said, in terms of this was the first time they'd actually given us some concrete dates. So this was the last chance, as far as I'm concerned. So. All right, we'll put it on the agenda in 2 weeks.
Just as a, another point, I kind of wonder if the new Bruce, new code enforcement officer, has taken a look at the building across the street that has, the building that Treats is in, that has broken windows and, is beginning to look.
That's the runway. I don't know.
What do you
It's
know?
called what? Runway.
Run the light, thank you.
I don't know, but I'll ask.
Thank you so much.
Anything else, Ben?
Probably with their other business.
Okay, other board business?
So I didn't put the 2 marijuana ordinances on this agenda. Because having gone through both of them, there's still a lot of inconsistencies between the 2 of them. I'm not quite sure why that's the case. One requires something, the other one doesn't. And I think administratively, they're going to be much easier for us to handle if we get them more in line with each other. So if you look at Damascotta's medical ordinance and our adult ordinance, it's pretty much verbatim in most places, except in those few areas where we're dealing with a medical statute and an adult statute. They are two separate statutes that do have some differences in them. But I find these ordinances I would much rather see them more consistent. So, you guys have had them, you've seen them. The issue that we run into now is, if we want these on the November ballot to change what's the areas where they can go and they're allowed, I gotta have a decision from you tonight as to whether or not you want to certify these and put them on the ballot. If not, then we're gonna make a whole lot more changes to make them more consistent. We need more time, and that will mean either having to wait until March to vote on them again, or vote on them in an open town meeting, which people tend not to like. So I just had a brief discussion with James about this. It might be more prudent to put these on the ballot as they are now, so that we can get the restrictions to where they are. Because right now, the medical can go anywhere in town. And then amend them, take the winter to amend, make some amendments to them, and then just vote on some amendments in March. I don't want the voters getting upset because we keep bringing these back, because, you know, they're gonna have to come back probably in March anyways. It was just on the news this morning that the state is pretty much rewriting the entire thing. So that they can become more accessible and they can create more concentrated whatever they do. And I don't smoke it, I don't do any of it, so I don't quite understand it, but there's probably gonna have to be amendments to it. So if you go ahead and certify these tonight, we can get them on the ballot. They will be limited to Route 1 and Route 27, which is what we intended.
Don't you think we need to go ahead and do that?
And we can make
At least that much.
Yes, and they will do retroactive back, so anybody that does try to apply for a license now in village won't be able to get one because it is going to be retroactive.
I think like the multiple dwelling units, we could put it in place for in advance and then straighten it out, you know, amend it later to some.
Because there'll be more, apparently,
Yes.
to do in March, based on whatever the state says.
Yeah, I would suspect so if the state's changing a whole lot.
So at least we can get it right as far as the boundaries.
Yes, that's what we really want to do is balance.
And that is the biggest issue that we have.
I agree.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
To move this certified?
What we just
Do
said.
you need more than that?
You got the motion with no?
No, I didn't. Move to certify the Wisconsin adult use cannabis business license ordinance and place it on the ballot.
Do they need to be done separately?
I would discuss.
Yeah, can I read the title of on each of them and I'll make the motion? Thank you very much. All right. Let's type it right here. I move to certify the town of Wisconsin medical cannabis licensing ordinance
And place it.
and place it on the ballot.
Second.
Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I move to certify the town of Wisconsin adult use cannabis business ordinance and place it on.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Passes 5-0. Any other board business?
I'll say something. We promote ourselves on being this business family friendly. We're putting a lot of rules and regulations on stuff, especially the short-term rentals. When's the last time you've ever heard of a problem with Airbnb? It's been around for many years.
I would disagree in terms of, I've heard some horror stories.
But is it the town's responsibility though?
No.
Regulate people or get called on local. If that's what they want to do with their property.
So just to answer that, James, I'm not so much concerned about what people want to do with their property. I'm concerned about people who come into town short term for a week or so, work it up and disturb all the neighbors in the area, and that's not having any recourse. Is all that and the likelihood of that happening is small, but I'd like that if it happened, there was some recourse available.
Maybe we have our own noise ordinance thing.
And we don't enforce it because we don't even have the equipment to read the decibel levels on the noise.
So we're gonna put in short-term rentals, the noise aspect.
Oh, I would.
Exactly.
And then my last thing, is just a, FYI that we're going to start putting out, I don't think we have a name for it, not yet, maybe select board bulletin or something like that. That will be input from the whole board and approved by the whole board, but written by me, just to give people more information. So for example, things like when we set the waterfront fees, putting them out in yet another form, not just relying on media or people watching or being here. Explaining, like, for example, what we just did with the marijuana ordinances, what that actually, so all about process and procedure, so not opinions of the board, just process and procedure and things we think that people might be wondering about, if board members are getting a recurring question, helping to answer that question. And Dennis has asked for a town manager's corner, so I guess we'll do that. So anyway, the goal is to get this out within a week or two of every meeting. And this is another way to communicate with the public. So hopefully it will go well. We'll get more information and we'll be trying to put it out on multiple channels. So.
I was just gonna say, what platform? you put
Yeah,
it
so
on?
at the very least, it will be on the town website and there'll be a link sent to anybody who signed up for the text service. And I plan to post a link to it on my select board Facebook page, as well as probably a link to the Wisconsin Community Facebook page. And then we'll talk about other ways, whether we want to do an email list or whatever. And I'll probably send it into the papers if they want to print it as a letter to the editor or whatever. So we'll find as many ways as we can to get it out
That's a
there.
cool idea. It's a lot of work, thank you.
So we'll see how it goes. All right, any other board business? Open for a
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Moved and seconded, all those in favor? We are adjourned at 7:03 p.m. Well, we're not sure yet. Processes and if they're.
Throw a date on there.